Hey guys, it's Ashley here and Eloise. And I thought a little bit of time today, so I thought that I would just cover a question that I've received a lot since I had Eloise. And it's what is it like having kids that aren't necessarily close in age? Now, my kids aren't too far apart in age. Ada turned 4 years and 7 months, like the day after I had Eloise. So they're a little over 4.5 years apart. And if you've been following me, you know that that wasn't necessarily our plan. We had originally wanted to have our kids maybe 2.5 to 3.5 years apart. I never wanted them like bing, 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 super close. I knew that I couldn't handle that with working from home. But I also wanted them a little bit closer because, you know, you hear everything about how they play better together. And I myself have a brother who is like 3 years and 11 months younger than I am. So I always felt kind of a lot older than he was growing up, and I wanted to have a gap a little bit closer than that. But as I learned, you don't always get to choose. And so we're like just super thrilled to have a second child at all, and we love her, and she's our little peanut. But it has been interesting having kids that are on the older, on the wider end of the spectrum, I guess. Surprisingly, I get a lot of questions out about like, why'd you wait so long? And what's, oh, your daughter's in kindergarten, and oh, do you have another one in between them? And no, we don't have another one in between them. And yeah, it's kind of weird. I would say we're experiencing two really different, I guess, areas of parenthood at the same time. So like I said, Ada started kindergarten this year. It's early kindergarten, which is special through our district, so she won't be in full kindergarten till next year, but it's essentially kindergarten because it's through the school, it's through the state. So she's doing all the school stuff, getting on the bus. She's away from like 8 o'clock until almost 4 o'clock every single day. And she even has little bits of homework every now and again. So there's that whole side of parenting that a lot of my friends actually are in too, but they have kids that are also kind of closer to school age. And then we also, for this whole past 8 months, because today is Eloise's 8-month birthday, which I can't believe, but we had the whole newborn phase this year. So we had the sleepless nights, we had teething right now, we have, low battery, sorry guys, we have trouble with like having to baby proof the house right now because she just started crawling last week and we didn't have any outlet covers on anymore. We have Legos everywhere. So we are dealing with two different areas in that kind of respect. Like Ada is on to all these tiny toys and Eloise still needs to be really careful. And so I would say that's been kind of interesting because we were so out of practice having an almost 5-year-old when Eloise came along that you forget about things like baby proofing. You forget, and rules change about baby foods. Like the order in which you introduce foods is different. I guess babies can eat a much wider variety of foods now, which I didn't know. Safety things change. So yeah, it's like you're kind of rusty. Not terribly so. It was kind of funny because like all of Ada's car seats are going to expire before Eloise can use them. And yes. And a lot of the baby stuff we had, like we either had given away or it was kind of so well used because we let so many people borrow it or it expired, like I said. So we actually had to buy a lot of things when we had Eloise. Ada ended up staying in her crib a really long time. I think she stayed in her crib till she was 3, and that crib had it. She had chewed it and like climbed on it, so we had to buy a new crib. Their needs are also very different. You know, Eloise, she has a lot of very real needs. She needs to breastfeed. Right now she's doing that 5 times a day, but she had been doing it 10 or 12 times a day. She needs physical comfort. She needs us to play with her. It's very much more basic sort of primal needs. And Ada is entering this stage where her needs are very emotional, and it's like we're learning that very much. You know, she'll have nightmares, or she'll feel unsure of herself, or she'll have a kid will say something horrible to her at school. Like some kid on the bus told her he wanted to kill her. So we were dealing with that. So yeah, I would say having two kids that are farther apart in age, you feel a little bit stretched because they need such different things, which I'm sure is kind of the same when you have like a toddler who's running around, which actually there are some major benefits to having them farther apart as well. Like, you know, I can tell Ada if she's hungry, Ada, go get yourself a snack from the cupboard. We have like an area set up where she can just grab herself a snack. Ada, go to your room and you can look at books and play. And she's very independent. So all of this time that I've been nursing or having to really drop everything and deal with the baby, she's been very self-reliant, and she's also been a very big help because I can ask her, oh, can you please go upstairs and get the diapers or the wipes, or can you go get this favorite toy, or even like, I'd like to take a shower. Could you just sit with her, you know, nearby, but can you just play with her so that I could take a shower? So there have been some major benefits in having an older child who can help. And I think for some families maybe where they have multiple kids, you know, you have that older kid, but then you have the one in between that, you know, a toddler would be tearing the house apart, running all over the place. I think during my pregnancy, it was also beneficial to have them farther apart because, you know, I had a very anxiety-filled pregnancy. I also, I ended up having those contractions again, and so there were a lot of times toward the end where I didn't really write about it, but I actually was instructed to kind of just not do anything, like basically lay down. And with Stephen coaching, I would have, if I had a toddler, I wouldn't have been able to do that, but Ada could just lay in bed with me and watch movies, and she understood the things that I was saying, you know, mommy doesn't feel well, she needs to rest. And I also think, you know, when Eloise was born, that was like a big question I got, you know, Ada's gonna be so old, she's really gonna notice that your attention is divided. But actually, I feel like, I feel like she was on the older end of the spectrum where she kind of got it. She understood that the baby needed us, and she was really excited for the baby. And I would say that as far as our transition to a family of 4 went, it was very smooth. There have been times where I can tell that like Ada would like to have more of our attention, you know, she'll have a little bit of like, look at me times, but all in all, she gets it, and she doesn't really have too much animosity towards, you know, having to share her time. I think there are also some benefits in that we'll be able to focus more on like their separate activities. Ada has some special things that she does every week, like going to gymnastics is one of her favorite things, and it's not like I have to drop her there and then Eloise is doing something over here, and that's something if we're thinking about having 3 kids that I do wonder about, because I would want to have our 3rd child relatively soon, so I would probably be. Hey guys, I'm back real fast. I guess I didn't have enough memory to finish recording the video. So anyway, I'll make this short. If we choose to have 3 kids, I would want to have my next kid relatively soon. So I guess I would be experiencing like one end of the spectrum and then the other end of the spectrum, which is interesting. But we still haven't decided on that. I have another video on that I'll link here. So yeah, I hope that clears it up for anyone who's interested of what it's like to have more than a 4-year gap, almost a 5-year gap. I probably didn't cover everything, but like I said, I don't have a lot more space left. I hope that the quality of this video is actually getting better, because that's one reason I don't have enough space. I'm trying to do it in 1080p. Recording is new to me. I'm learning all these terms. So anyway, if you have any requests for videos, leave that in the comments below, and otherwise have a great day and thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.